we're going to create the world's biggest country, the world's biggest union. I call it the Super Happy We Like Women Pride Union because it's very super happy and it's going to make everybody like women better. Okay, it's going to be all of the United States, all of Canada, the US, Canada, and Australia. That's three big countries. That'll be the world's biggest country right there. And also one with the UK and Ireland, and also one with the Spain, UK, Mexico, Central, South America, and also one with Europe, North America, South America, and Australia. So we're going to create the world's biggest country, and I'm going to call this the Super Happy We Like Women Pride Union because it's super happy and it's going to make everyone like women better. All right, this is our ultimate goal. So you can see right here, there's the US and Canada, and there's Mexico, Central, South America, and Europe and Australia. We're going to be one big country, North America, South America, Australia, and Europe. Yeah, and we want to right here, see, we want to unite the English-speaking countries. There's United States, Canada, Australia, UK, England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, and that's Northern Ireland and Ireland. So one of our big goals, I speak English, most of us speak English that watch this video, but let's unite the English-speaking countries. And let's also unite the Spanish-speaking countries because, see, if we're going to unite the English-speaking countries, we should help unite the Spanish-speaking countries because that'll help us unite into a superpower. We help them, they'll help us. So Mexico, Central, South America, that includes Brazil, and Argentina, and Spain and Portugal. We want the Spanish and Portuguese-speaking countries united into a superpower. And again, our ultimate goal right here is, North America, South America, Australia, and Europe, which includes the UK and Spain. We're all going to be one big super happy country. The Super Happy We Like Women Pride Union. As you can see here, okay, the Super Happy We Like Women Pride Army Union. Okay, we want to unite the Americas, North and South America, Canada, US, Mexico, Central, South America, Australia, and Europe, into one big super happy country. And we want the police and government buildings to look like happy faces in all these countries. We want to unite under super happyism. We're going to be one big happy country. I call it the Super Happy We Like Women Pride Union. And remember, this is going to be a super happy. We're all one big super happy family. We go back over 500 years. Europeans, Americas, North and South America, and we go back over 230 years with Australia. So we're one big happy family. And yeah, and again, this is We Like Womenism, so it's going to make everyone like women better in every one of these countries. And super happyism. We're going to be one big super happy family. So yeah, that'll bring us closer together. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about a city in every one of these areas so we can become one big happy country. Remember, I just looked at a map and I just picked a city. These cities have no affiliation with my video. I just pick it out. My goal is to make thousands of these videos, so I talk about every part of these countries every part of the areas in our new union. Europe, North America, South America, Australia, and Europe. And yeah, so remember, I just looked at a map and I just picked out these cities. And yeah, let's become one big super happy We Like Women Pride Union. So for the United States, I'm going to talk about the city of Clearwater in Florida. For Canada, I'm going to talk about the city of Alberton in Prince Edward Island. For Australia, I'm going to talk about the city of Broad Arrow in Western Australia. Yeah, there's Broad Arrow, Western Australia. For the UK and Ireland, New England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and Northern Ireland, I'm going to talk about the city of Stromeferry in Scotland. For Europe, I'm going to talk about the city of Namur in Belgium. And for the city for Mexico, Central, and South America, I'm going to talk about the city of Manta in Ecuador. And since I'm in Minnesota, I make it a point to talk about a local city in the state that I'm in. I'm going to talk about the city of Castle Danger in Minnesota. And the reason I picked Castle Danger is because I just wanted to know why it was called Castle Danger. So for the United States, I'm going to talk about the city of Clearwater in Florida. Now, Clearwater, Florida is located in Pinellas County, Florida. That's right next to Tampa, St. Petersburg. Okay, that's the city of Clearwater, Florida. That's right there on the map, right? So you can see right there in Florida. That's a picture of the Pinellas County Courthouse. As you can see right here, that's a picture of the courthouse. There's a picture here of Clearwater at daybreak. As you can see right here. That's about a picture of Clearwater at daybreak. There's a picture here. The area was originally inhabited by the Tocobaga Native Americans. That's their territory. See right there? Before the Spanish came, that was their territory there. Okay, in 1835, the United States Army started building a fort. It was called Fort Harrison, named after this guy, William Henry Harrison. He was the 9th president of the United States. And hey, that's really neat. Kamala Harris, the senator from California, she's vice president. Her last name is Harris. This guy's name is William Henry Harrison. So, and she's running for vice president now. She got the nomination a couple weeks ago. And, that's interesting. So she has the last name of a president, William Henry Harrison, which is really, really interesting. Or, very close. Her last name is Kamala Harris. This guy's name was William Henry Harrison, ninth president of the United States. And she has a very good chance of winning. The area's population grew after the Federal Armed Occupation Act of 1842. They offered 160 acres to anyone who would bear arms and cultivate the land. Early settlers included the Stevens, Stevenson, Sever, and McMullen families, who claimed and farmed large tracts of land here. Now, in 1906, the area was also known as Clearwater Harbor. The name Clearwater is thought to have come from a freshwater spring flowing from near the City Hall building, where it's located today. During the American Civil War, a lot of gunboats raided this area here in Clearwater. And as we can see from the timeline here, in 1888, the settlement of Clearwater Harbor was founded. In 1891, the town of Clearwater Harbor became incorporated. In 1915, the city of Clearwater became incorporated. Well, I love libraries, so, in 2004, the Clearwater Public Library's new building opens, and I love libraries, so I try to talk about libraries when I'm at con. And in 2013, the Church of Scientology's Superpower building was dedicated here. As you can see, Scientology's flag building. This is from Wikipedia. Look up Clearwater, and all this stuff's from Wikipedia. That's the picture right there. And anyways, the sister cities here, this is really neat. Okay, we want to become one country with Greece. So there's Kalamaria, Greece is one of the sister cities. And we want to be one country with Australia. So Wyong, that's W-Y-O-N-G, New South Wales, Australia. That's we do want to become one country with Europe and Greece and Australia. Yeah, and another thing here about Clearwater is that there's a lot of Latin Americans in Florida. So one big country, United States, Mexico, Central, South America, Canada, Spain, Portugal, UK, Europe, and Australia. We're all going to be one big happy country. And so Florida, I'm sure that'll be kind of popular in Florida because there's a lot of Latin Americans and people with European descent and native roots too. Yeah, and here's a picture of a figure skater here, and you can see right here. It's from Wikipedia, the website, and and so there's the U.S. and Canada right there. So the U.S. and Canada, and like I said, Florida's got a lot of Hispanics, Mexico, Central, South America. We're all going to be one big happy country there. And as for Canada, I'm going to talk about the city of Alberton in Prince Edward Island, Canada. Alberton is right here in Prince Edward Island. As you can see, there's a map of Alberton right there, and the motto is the heart of West Prince, Alberton and Prince Edward Island. In 1862, it was named after this guy, who was at that time the Prince of Wales. Albert Edward was his name here. And at the time they named it after him, he was the Prince of Wales. He became king after Queen Victoria passed away, so it was named after this guy, Albert Edward. Yeah, the area was originally inhabited by Micmac natives. See the Micmac? They had a really cool Native American tribe. Okay, it was in 1534 when Jacques Cartier, the discoverer, founder of Canada, that's what some people call him, he explored around this area in 1534. The Acadians, settled this area here, Okay, in the 1750s, a lot of them were expelled by the British after, the war they had, the so-called French and Indian War, 7 Years' War. And you see right here, in 1765, this guy, Captain Samuel Johannes Holland, he was explored this area, and he mapped it out really well. Yeah, and this is interesting with Holland. See, this is in 1758. See, look at this. That winter, Holland and his new pupil, James Cook, drew charts to the Gulf of St. Lawrence and St. Lawrence River. Yeah, and so James Cook was a student, and of course, we want to bring the U.S., Canada, and Australia together, and James Cook was very important, in discovering, mapping Australia. Sydney or Botany Bay, the settlement was because of James Cook. He mapped Australia, and he also really mapped, the Pacific Northwest coast, Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, all the way up into Alaska. So, that's the U.S., Canada, and Australia. We're going to be one country. That's going to be the world's biggest country. So this guy was James Holland's student. Interesting, they had a fox farming industry here. The fox farming industry brought increased growth here. This was in 1913, and it remained profitable through the 1940s. That's very interesting. Fishing is really big here. Like lobster, mussel, snow crab, shells, cod, herring. That's really big in this area. And, you know, different types of fish. And agriculture is really big in this area too. So that is Alberton and Prince Edward Island. Now for Australia, we're going to talk about the city of Broad Arrow in Western Australia. Oh, what? Now, this is the city of Broad Arrow here in Western Australia. Now, Broad Arrow is a ghost town in Western Australia. That means it's pretty much mostly abandoned. 38 kilometers north of Kalgoorlie, which is a big mining town, and 633 kilometers east of Perth. You can see it right here at Broad Arrow. And, you know, when I just picked these cities off a map, I just look at a map because I want to bring us together talking about cities. I didn't know it was a ghost town, but now I looked it up and it's a ghost town. So I'll just talk about it. You know, that's cool. So it's an abandoned ghost mining town. It was initially called Clearwater. This was where gold was discovered in 1893. It triggered a gold rush in the region north of Kalgoorlie. And I read about Kalgoorlie before. Kalgoorlie, you know, I saw videos about it. It became a big mining town. The Broad Arrow Goldfield was gazetted here, or that means formed here, I guess, in November 11th, 1896. And in 1897, the municipality of Clearwater was discovered. Now, this is interesting. Why is it called Broad Arrow? I'd like to know about that. The town derives its name from the markers in the shape of a broad arrow left on the ground by a miner, Rayson, who left them to direct his friends who were following him to a gold discovery he had made. His mine was also called Broad Arrow. Now, these are pictures of what broad arrows are, and again, this is all, Wikipedia, Wikipedia Public Creative Commons dictionary website. That's a picture of a broad arrow. See that's right here. So the guy left a picture of a broad arrow on the ground there. And this is a picture of a heraldic broad arrow with plain barbs. So that guy, he left a picture like that there, of a broad arrow. And so that's how Broad Arrow got its name. Yeah, as you can see right here, the town at a peak, it had 15,000 residents, 8 hotels, 2 breweries, and a stock exchange, hospital, 3 churches, a Salvation Army Hall, chemists, 2 banks. So it was a pretty big town here. And the town was the administrative center for smaller settlements in the area, including Orabunda. And there's Orabunda right here. This is another abandoned ghost town. So apparently there's a lot of abandoned ghost mining towns in this area, which is really interesting. So that's why by the 1920s, the gold had run out and the town had been abandoned. So that's Australia. Yeah, and if we're to become one country, U.S., Canada, and Australia, we got to know about Australia. I know Australia's a huge mining country, and I have heard that there are abandoned mining towns here, abandoned mining ghost towns. Yeah, and so that is the city of Broad Arrow, Western Australia, and it's all from Wikipedia here, you can see. For, the UK and Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland, I'm going to talk about the city of Stromeferry in Scotland. You can see our goal of uniting the English-speaking countries, especially the US, Canada, and Australia, the 3 really big English-speaking countries, well, and the UK and Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and Northern Ireland. And so Stromeferry falls into our goal of uniting all the English-speaking countries. As you can see, there's Stromeferry right there. Stromeferry in Scotland. That's a map of where it is in Scotland. Now Stromeferry is interesting. It's located on the south shore of the west coast of the Sea Loch. And look, its name reflects its former role as a location of one of the many coastal ferry services which existed prior to the expansion of the road network. So that's how ferry got its name. It was one of the many coastal ferry networks. Yeah, as you can see, this is a picture of Stromeferry on the shore of Loch Carron. That's right here, Loch Carron. Right here, that's a picture from Wikipedia. Okay, this is a picture of, it says the oxymoronic sign for Stromeferry. It says Stromeferry, no ferry. And this is a picture of Stromeferry Ferry, the road sign modified. See right here, the road sign modified for the temporary ferry operation. This is a picture here of the turntable vehicle ferry at Stromeferry. You can see the picture right there from Wikipedia. Now, this is interesting here. Look at this. They had 2 ferries, one called Pride of Strom and the other one called Strom Castle, in the late 1950s and 1960s. Now, look at this. Both boats now lie wrecked on the shore of Loch Carron between North Strom and Loch Carron. So they're both wrecked on the shore there, which is kind of interesting. Wrecked sea ships are really neat. I like looking at wrecked boats. And so that's kind of cool. Yeah, they still have 2 ferries here. Okay, the 10-minute ferry traverse of Loch Carron avoids a 140-mile road detour via Inverness. So you can either go 10 minutes on this ferry or go 140 miles to get to where you got to go. Now, that's interesting. Now, following the extension to a railway line to the Kyle of Lokesh, which was completed in 1997, it provided a much shorter sea crossing to the islands. Stromeferry declined in importance. Okay, in June 1883, Stromeferry was the scene of a Sabbatarian riot in which over 200 fishermen took possession of the railway terminus to prevent the unloading of fish on a Sunday. 10 men were imprisoned as a result. The involvement of both the police and military in breaking the riot was questioned in the House of Commons, where it was stated that there was no law preventing Sunday traffic in Scotland. So that's Stromeferry, Scotland, and of course, we all want to become one big happy country, and we do want to unite the English-speaking countries. As for our European city, we're going to talk about the city of Namur in Belgium. That's the city, Namur, N-A-M-U-R. Okay, it's both the capital of the province of Namur and of Wallonia. And it holds the parliaments of Wallonia and the Walloon government in Belgium. And as you can see, this is where Namur is in Belgium. That's their flag and their coat of arms. The city location within, the province of Namur, you see it's right there. There's a picture of a really beautiful, beautiful bridge right here. As you can see, this is right here, in Wikipedia. That's a picture of the cute bridge right there. And there's a picture of Namur right here in 1838. That's an 1838 painting. Now, since the Celtic time, it was an important trading post. Yeah, and Julius Caesar, he invaded, he conquered the local tribe around here. The local tribe, they were called the Atuatusi. That's what the Romans conquered, Atuatusi. They were a Gallic Germanic tribe. Yeah, the Merovingians, they established a castle here. And that's a map of the Merovingian kingdoms at their height. Okay, in 1262, they said the Count of Flanders, they conquered this area. That's their coat of arms right there. And in 1421, this guy here, Philip the Good, the Duke of Burgundy, he bought this land here. In the 1640s, it was part of the Spanish Netherlands. In 1692, Louis XIV of France conquered this area. 3 years later, this guy, William Orange, conquered this area. And so on and so on. Yeah, so there's a lot of history here in Namur. Very interesting. So it's got a lot of really interesting history. It continued to host the Belgian Army's paratroopers until their departure in 1977. And it was invaded and conquered by Germany both times during World War II. And there's some very interesting here. This is the Citadel in the Meuse River picture. You can see right here, the Citadel right here on the Meuse River. And again. Yeah, and this is all, from Wikipedia here. And this is the Belfry of Namur. Yeah, there's a picture of the Belfry of Namur. This is a picture of St. Albans Cathedral. Yeah, there's a more close-up picture of St. Albans Cathedral. This one here is known as the Four Sons of Aemon. That's an art picture. And again, this is all from Wikipedia. Yeah, and this is from Wikipedia right here. As you can see, it's from Wikipedia. Yeah, and this is a picture of the old town right here. That's a picture of old. As you can see, it's got a lot of sister cities. You want to be one country. Quebec City, Quebec, Canada. We're going to be one country, Canada, Europe. Sisters, Serbia, France, Belmont, California in the U.S., and Lafayette, Louisiana in the U.S., and Italy, Romania, and Sweden. Yeah, so it's got sister cities in all these countries. And yeah, we're all going to be one big happy country. So that is the city of Namur right here in Belgium. And remember, we're all going to be one big country, Europe, and, it includes Spain, UK, and Belgium, and Australia, Canada, and the US, and Mexico, Central South America. And for our South American city, we're going to talk about the city of Manta in Ecuador. Now, Manta is right here. There's Manta. As you can see right there, there's a map of where Manta is in Ecuador. So you can see there's a picture of Manta right there, San Pablo de Manta. It was a trading post for the Manta, which were also known as the Montanos. You see, so the Montano, that's how it's got the name Manta. Yeah, the Montanos, see, it says right here, they were active from 850 to 1600, from the year 850 to 1600. And as you can see right here, they were succeeded by the Inca Empire. So the Inca conquered or integrated this culture here. And that's the map of the Montanos right here in Ecuador. Now, its main activity is tuna fishing, and other things are tourism and chemicals. Now, this is interesting. Like Manta has the largest seaport in Ecuador. And in 1735, this guy came in through the port of Manta, and this was interesting. He spent 10 years in present-day Ecuador measuring the length of a degree latitude at the equator. So he really measured it, and he prepared the first map of the Amazon region based on astronomical observation, Charles Marie de la Condamine. So he came in through the port of Manta, and apparently it was a 10-year trip from or it was inward. He spent 10 years there, but he went to Manta, and from Manta he went to Quito, and he measured the equator, or he did these maps of the equator. I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, so that's pretty cool. This is interesting. A lot of tuna here. The economy's got a really big tuna industry. Look at these big tuna industry. Bumblebee. I know Bumblebee. I buy Bumblebee. Van Camps. I bought Van Camps. British Columbia Packers. So that's British Columbia. That's in Canada. We do want to be one big country. Mexico, Central, South America. Ecuador and Canada. So that's kind of cool. That's another company there. And of course, Ecuador, right there in the equator, I'm sure it's beautiful. Tourism is very big in this area. And I've heard that Ecuador, that whole area is extremely beautiful. I've never been there, but I would love to go. But I heard it's very beautiful. Now, this is an interesting picture. It's from Wikipedia, San Lorenzo Beach. That's a really beautiful, look at those beautiful rocks right there. Reminds me of those beautiful, beautiful rocks in Oregon, on the Oregon coast. Similar beach with a lot of rocks. So that's part of interesting. Yeah, that one's called San Lorenzo Beach there. And that is the city of Manta in Ecuador. Oh, this is really cool. I didn't mention this. One of its nickname is World Capital of Tuna Fishing. Capital Mundial del Atún y Ciudad de la Pesca. That means it's a tuna fishing capital. So I'm sure they got good tuna there. And again, Manta isn't our goal. We want to unite the Spanish-speaking countries and Portuguese-speaking countries. Mexico, Central, South America, Brazil, Argentina, Ecuador, and Spain and Portugal. And so, yeah, uniting the Spanish and Portuguese-speaking countries is one of our goals. Yeah, and we also want to unite, the English-speaking countries. So if we unite the English-speaking countries, U.S., Canada, Australia, Scotland, England, Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. Yeah, and at the same time, we're going to help unite the Spanish and Portuguese-speaking countries while we unite the English-speaking countries. We're going to become one big happy country. North America, South America, Europe, and Australia. And that's going to be our ultimate goal here. Oh, and since I'm in Minnesota, I always make it a point to talk about a local city, in the state that I'm in, And right now I'm in Minnesota, so I'm going to talk about the city of Castle Danger, Minnesota. Now, this is Castle Danger here on the Minnesota map. You can see right there, it's on Lake Superior, pretty close to Canada. And the reason I picked Castle Danger is, I looked at the map of Minnesota, because I'm in Minnesota right now, and I just want to know why it was called Castle Danger. Now, I'm assuming it's called Castle Danger because maybe it's got some dangerous rocks or cliffs there. Like I was in Washington State, they had a place called Cape Disappointment, or Point Disappointment, and a lot of shipwrecks were there. You know what I mean? So, and it's right there on the coast. So I'm assuming there might be shipwrecks here. And I was at a bar in Minnesota the other day, and they had Castle Danger beer. So I bought it, and so I just wanted to know why it was called Castle Danger. Yeah, so let's delve into why it's called Castle Danger. So my assumption is right. Okay, I could be right. Okay, Castle Danger here. Okay, it was settled in 1890 by 3 Norwegian fishermen. And I know there's a lot of Norwegians and Scandinavians in this area. The Minnesota Vikings, the football team. Now, although the site was originally occupied by lumber companies, the exact origin of the name is unknown. Although it might have come from the cliffs on the shore resembling a castle. So they got cliffs up there. And look at this. See, from a boat named Castle that grounded here. See, so boat named Castle, grounded here, wrecked their ship here. And usually, I know when I was in Washington State, it was called Cape Disappointment. There was a place up there called the Graveyard of the Pacific. scary names, but a lot of shipwrecks were there. So a ship named Castle wrecked here. So I'm assuming that's the main reason. Now, there was also a book named Castle Dangerous that was printed in 1831. That might have been another reason, but I'm assuming it's because a boat named Castle grounded there. So in my opinion, because a boat named Castle got wrecked here, they just named it Castle, Castle Danger. But again, that's my opinion, and I could be wrong. I don't know if the book had anything to do with it. Maybe because if the book was kind of popular, that might have been a reason. But I think it's because of a boat named Castle that got wrecked here. That's just my assumption. But they're still not really sure. And Castle Danger does have a brewery. Again, this is from Wikipedia. This company has no affiliation with my video whatsoever. I'm just expressing my opinion. I tried this beer. It was pretty good. Castle Cream Danger, Castle Danger in Castle Danger, Minnesota. The Castle Cream Ale from the Castle Danger Brewery in Minnesota. And there's a brewery. And there's a picture of the brewery right here. And this is all on Wikipedia. Actually, this is from the internet. So that is the city of Castle Danger, Minnesota. And again, I gave you my opinion of why it's called Castle Danger. I think it's because of a ship named Castle that got wrecked here. And it's because I was in Washington and Oregon, and there was these places called Graveyard of the Pacific, Cape Disappointment, and there's just a lot of shipwrecks there. So another shipwreck, that's why I think it's called Castle Danger. But again, that's my opinion, and I could be wrong. And again, I want to thank you guys for watching my video. Now, almost everything in here is from Wikipedia. It's Creative Commons. So it's public information. Public domain pictures, or I did try to show you. I showed the accreditation of every picture in there that wasn't. Internet website advertising pictures. The Castle Danger beer, I got it from the internet. Anyways, the brew. Yeah, so, and again, all the cities mentioned here, they're just off the top of my head. I just looked at a map. My goal is to make us one country. All North America, South America, U.S., Canada, Mexico, Central South America, Australia, Spain, Portugal, UK, Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales, Europe. We're all going to be one big happy country. And so I want to talk about a city, or an area in every one of these areas. And again, my goal is, if I can achieve it, make thousands of these videos. So, we're going to be one country. We're going to be well informed of local areas in every one of these, in our brand new country, our brand new union, which I'm going to call the Super Happy We Like Women Union. This is a fun thing. I try to make it a documentary, and I do plan on starting businesses and campaigns to make it more popular so we become one big happy country, or one big happy union. Remember, the Super Happy We Like Women Union. We like women, and we are proud to like women. It's going to make everyone like women better. Super Happy Police. The police cars are going to look like happy faces. We're going to have and we're going to be one big happy family. Remember, we go back over 500 years, and with Australia, we go back over 230 years. So we've been intermingled. We're one big happy family. So let's become one big Super Happy We Like Women Union. Have a super, super happy day, and look for future videos and businesses to get this going. Let's create the world's biggest country.